When I come here, then I did that.
Yes, guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel and I Belize with my family. Yeah. Just stay tuned with us while we have fun. I love my subscribers. We finna take this train. It's family time with my family, man. I love my family. Belize now with my family, and we just chilling. Stay tuned. It's a little bit hard, not so hot though.
And keep inside the train at all times. Our trusted train engineer will be taking you through various beautiful settings that will leave you with a brief insight of culture and history in Belize. Let's get rolling. Welcome to the Belize Rainforest. We are very fortunate in Belize to have almost 1 million acres of rainforest and wetlands under different types of conservation management. This is important for two main reasons. Firstly, it will be there for future generations to enjoy, and secondly, thousands of insects, birds, reptiles, animals, and many varieties of trees and plant life have a safe place to call home. Belize has a large variety of ecosystems, making our country very unique. For generations, these precious ecosystems have provided food, water, building materials, and medicine for our people. Belize also has an extensive network of cave systems. Over 150 miles of caves have been mapped, with many more still to be explored. One of these cave systems, known as ATM, which is short for Akun to the Chill Canal, has been named one of the most sacred caves in the world by the National Geographic. Our next stop is Amaya City.
The Maya civilization was a very strong culture that rose to its climax and descended to its collapse in a period of 4,000 years, from 2500 BC to 1500 AD. To your left is a temple where priests and the elite would live. To your right is a typical kitchen structure and another for sleeping. This is where the general population would live. The Maya domesticated plants. Corn was the base and not their food. They raised stingless honeybees and traded cotton, honey, flint, salt, feathers, and jade. The Maya developed their own calendar, using advanced astronomy and math. The world was Xibalba, the place of fright. In the middle was Earth, four-sided and floating in an ancient sea as if on the back of a turtle or crocodile. On top was the heavens. To your right is the early sugar industry. Sugarcane was introduced into the northern district of Corozal in 1848 by Mexican immigrants fleeing the caste war, and was grown in small amounts for sugarcane, rapadura, and molasses. However, it wasn't until the arrival of the American Confederates in southern Belize in 1865 that this industry took off. This sugar mill on display on your right was made in Louisiana and brought in by the Confederates. East Indian indentured laborers were brought in to work on these farms and would remain settled to become one of the major ethnic groups in southern Belize, referred to as Coolie Indian. Today, the industry is comprised of two big factories, one in the north and the other in the west of Belize. Over 5,000 independent farming families depend on this industry. Charlie the Chiclero is tapping the tree for its sap. Chewing gum originated from the sap of the tree. This large tropical tree grows throughout the northern lowlands and central Belize. The life of a chiclero was tough as they worked in remote jungle locations. Insect bites, encounters with poisonous snakes and other dangerous animals were a daily occurrence. Falling from trees was common, and getting to a hospital quickly was near impossible. A chiclero like Charlie here would climb to the top of the tree using spikes on his feet, a rope around his waist, and a machete in his hand. Once on top, he would proceed to make slanting gashes into the bark, working his way to the bottom of the tree. The sap would drain to the bottom, where a wax-lined bag would collect it. Once a large amount was collected, it would be cooked in huge iron pots, then poured into wooden molds that were sized to. When the rainy season began, the rivers would rise and float all the logs down to Belize City. Closer to the city, the logs would be chained together from one side of the river to the other. This was called a boom. The boom kept the logs from going out into the sea. When the ships arrived, their quota was released for loading. Most of our logs went to England. Our national tree, the mahogany tree, was the most sought after wood, as it was beautiful in color and was easy to work with carpentry tools of the day. Wood used for local construction were cut using sawmills.
Garifuna setting next to the sea. The Garifuna are descendants of West African, Central African Island Carib, and Arawak people. They arrived in the early 19th century, settling on the southern coast of Belize. Drumming is an integral part of the culture. Their music, called punta, would become the nationally recognized music of Belize. The costume above the stairs is for the Jankano dance ceremony that is celebrated on the last Sunday of the year. The Garifuna culture always resisted slavery, and the Jankano dance embodies that resistance. Traditionally, Garifuna foods are based on ground foods, vegetables, and marine produce. However, the single most
We are now on North Front Street, Belize City, circa 1910, when Belize was a colony of England. Ships coming for logwood, sugar, chicle, or logs would bring many European and North American products to ballast these large sailing vessels, and they would load them with bricks, which they sold in Belize. Many buildings in Belize are built with red bricks, hundreds of years old. Through the peaceful efforts of the father of our nation, the Right Honorable George Hale Price, Belize achieved independence from England on the 21st of September, 1981. visiting Old Belize and Cucumber Beach. We hope you enjoy the rest of your stay. The train will be coming to a stop shortly. Please be careful as you exit the train.